All right, I hope you guys are doing well today. We have, real quick, just to go over a few notes for today and a bell ringer. Okay, that's all we got going on. I have a video posted as well for subliminal messages, which we're going to be talking about. So please check that out. So describe what a signal detection theory is. Come up with an everyday example in your life of signal detection theory. Here you go. So you want to pause the video and well, please pause the video. Complete the question here on your bell ringer, and I'll have you guys turn those in so I can give you credit for it to this attachment. All right, so describe what signal detection theory is. Come up with an everyday example in your life of signal detection theory. So this is something that might be a way of like almost hiding in our conscious thought, our sensations, right? So a signal detection theory, this is something like, let's say we're driving in a car. Obviously, we hear a car start. We know what kind of sound it makes. We hear a radio going. We're driving down the road, and all of a sudden you hear this clicking sound. It's like, oh, where's that coming from? I have no idea where that's coming from. And at first, you don't notice it. It might be happening for a long period of time until you actually recognize that sensation, that sound, that stimulus. So as you're driving down the road, and all of a sudden you hear this clicking sound, you constantly wonder what it could be. You have no idea. All right, it might be coming from your door. It might be coming from underneath your car. It might be coming from the engine. Hopefully not, right? But it's something that's alarming to many people because it's the thought of the unknown, where it might be coming from, okay, and how might this cause an issue for you in the future. And with that, there's a lot of questions that need to be asked. And I know I showed the foggy picture yesterday. That's something that especially if you're driving in a foggy area, or let's say the downpour or rain, or if it's snowing really, really bad and it's hard to see. Obviously, you stop. You almost go to a point where you're slowing down, and if you really are alarmed by it, you stop and pull over and wait till it calms down a little bit. But it's the thought of the unknown. What might be coming your way? Maybe it's a tree down the road and you can't see it, and you can't. You obviously don't know when you might interact with it or you might run into it. So you start to slow down, and there's many questions running through your head of what might be lying on the road ahead of you. Okay, maybe it's a deer that might jump out, right? Maybe it's something like a tree laying across the road. Maybe it's a car coming up at you from the other direction, or a car that might spin out uncontrollably in front of you. There's so many things that might happen in your mind that makes you think, your unconscious drive makes you think that this is believable, that this might happen depending on the circumstances. So a signal detection theory, again, it's your unconscious almost driving your mind to make decisions for you, even though with the stimulus around you, it's to the point where it's just all these false and fake scenarios that are occurring. Okay, if that makes sense. And if you do see the lights coming towards you and you see something coming at you, then you might react in certain ways. All right, so that's a bell ringer for today. So please work on the vocab. I don't have a due date for it yet, but sooner than later, please work on it. Just a few terms a day is all you really need. All right, so today I want to go over subliminal messages, okay, and how that's in our life when we don't even know it, especially with advertisement. All right, so subliminal persuasion. Okay, so this is something that is, in a way, influencing our lives, even though we don't recognize it, even though we don't even understand that it is, right? There's many cases of famous psychologists and people in advertisement that try to include flashes of words in videos to try to persuade you towards a certain decision, okay, and buying their product. In many cases, in advertisement, you won't even see it, but in your mind, in your unconscious mind, you understand it, you know it. So they might, in many advertisements, they'll be showing you a burger, or let's say Burger King is showing you a Whopper, and then a thousandths, 3,000ths of a second, they'll flash up in the background, Whopper, like buy a Whopper, Burger King, okay, $1 for a burger, whatever their sale might be. And in your unconscious mind, you can perceive that, you know what, this is a great deal. I can see that and understand that this is happening, that they want me to buy and purchase their items, when in your conscious mind, you don't ever detect it. You don't ever even notice it. And it's almost to the point where you just kind of go on with your daily life, like, yeah, it's a commercial, whatever. But um, their goal is for it to settle in and make you think about that commercial over and over and over again. And that's why, the way many commercials and businesses try to come up with a catchy sound or catchy music, something ridiculous going on in the background of the commercial to make you laugh and to make you remember their slogan, their business motive. Okay. And again, it's our unconscious drive making you rethink those sort of commercials. Okay, the Geico commercials always I laugh at anyway. It used to be the caveman, and how his life was just him walking around and just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Like everybody, it was so easy. A caveman can do it. You see the slogans, you see the advertisements on the wall, and then he's just walking around, just like, really, you gotta be kidding me. And then Flo with the signal detector of the price gun and everything like that. It's just funny. And then the Geico gecko, which we all know, and how he always has some sort of funny joke to say, and you're always waiting for that commercial to happen. It's recognizable. It makes you think about it constantly. But yeah, there's many other commercials that kind of hint towards that. Mountain Dew always really has some funny commercials, especially during the Super Bowl. Doritos, okay, when people are licking other people's fingers and say cheese, especially now with COVID-19, just a little weird now thinking about that. But yeah, check out those subliminal messages. They're always trying to fit these messages, these types of understandings in the back of your mind, and trying to make you think about it. Maybe you're dreaming about it. Maybe it's something that when you're, daydreaming, that's the first thing that pops in your mind. All right, so the air with automobile, right? Okay, so many psychologists try to flash words, missing some letters, but we all know, like, if we look at this and we can understand this word and look at it, we can fill in those lines, we can fill in those letters and understand automobile, right? Okay, so many psychologists would flash it quick and then move it right away, and then it'd make you think of what you're trying to understand, and this is a way, like, obviously I know, because it's remote learning, it's hard to do it, but a lot of people would show this and then just go on real quick, and then you're like, oh, there's a car. Okay, there's a car. And then when we go through the lesson even more, it's like, oh, what were we thinking of? An automobile. Okay. And that's how subliminal messages work. They try to trigger your absolute threshold, even though it's in your unconscious mind, and you're not thinking of it at the moment, but when you're relaxing, or when you're sitting back enjoying a meal, it's like, oh, that one commercial is hilarious. And how you relate it to, let's say, an experience that might happen. And right away, you can relate that experience to a commercial that you thought was funny or that you thought was fitting to the experience happening now. Seinfeld does that a lot, with present and past memories, and almost messages where you can think of an experience and relate it to an episode of Seinfeld, and of an everyday experience that might happen. All right. So, okay. So with subliminal messages, I'll go over some advertisements and some logos of some businesses that I think are fitting and that fit, that maybe you never noticed before with their logos. And I'd like you guys to do an assignment here where you'll come up with 3 logos of advertisements that you think are beneficial, which I'll talk about here soon. But some subliminal messages think that the devil are talking to you, especially in these rock songs. If you play them backwards, right, what they're saying, and the hidden messages in Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, that's pretty interesting. You guys should check it out. Just listen to it backwards. It almost incites that the devil wants you to join his side, which it's really hard to understand, but I see where they're coming from. It kind of sounds like that in a way. And the movie Little Nicky with Adam Sandler, they kind of pick on that idea, and it's like, well, was he really? Like, that's a little ridiculous. But Little Nicky with Adam Sandler, if you guys check that out too, there's an example where they flip the CD upside down, and it's like a message when they play it backwards. of how they want you to join a cult, or in this case, the devil's side. All right, so then we'll talk about senses later, but with subliminal messages, real quick, advertisement, you see it a lot, and they want to try to persuade the consumer in buying their products, and unique logos, especially with sports teams too, kind of shows those shows the history, maybe unique facts about that league, or let's say that team or advertisement. So here's a few of them which I think are interesting. So with FedEx, okay, obviously we see the logo here, FedEx. Not many people notice the arrow in FedEx, knowing that you're going to get your shipments, your packages in a fast rate and quick amount of time, because the arrow pointing in the right direction. It's pointing in the right direction, meaning whatever we're going to send to you, it's going to be quick, it's going to be fast, and we're getting the item as quick as fast to you as possible. Okay. Amazon logo. Many people know this one as well. But Amazon, you see the arrow. It almost looks like a smile in a way too. People say it looks like a smile, which it does. But A to Z. So they have all the items that you would ever need from A to Z, which is pretty interesting. I never really picked up on that one, but when I look at it more and more, it's like, well, no, duh. You can kind of see it in your head when you think about it more. The NBC logo looks like a peacock. Everybody knows that, especially now with their online streaming service. It's called Peacock, right? It says all the colors of the rainbow on there, and it's supposed to represent your, like a viewership of, has a variety of different shows and movies. The Goodwill logo, the G in Goodwill is a smiling face, knowing that you're doing something that's going to support the community, right? If you're going to donate any type of clothing or items, whatever it might be. With the Goodwill, the G is a smiling face. Let's see, Baskin Robbins. Okay, many of you probably know this one. So the B and the R in Baskin Robbins, they have 31 flavors. I guess you could say original flavors, but 31 flavors hidden in the Baskin Robbins name. Pretty cool. LG, I guess I can understand this one. The LG logo is supposed to represent Pac-Man in a way, I guess. I don't know if this one's a little exaggerated, but everybody's favorite game back in the day in the arcades was the Pac-Man game. But I don't know. But you can see a face in it as well. Okay, so here's the nose, the eye, and it kind of resembles a face. I think you're exaggerating with the Pac-Man. Snooty Peacock, I never heard of this one, but you can see the face and how it's like almost showing a beauty and jewelry of woman. And then the peacock, obviously, with the tail in the background. I think that's a pretty cool one. Pittsburgh Zoo. Okay, you can see the tree in the background, and then you can see the different animals presenting in it, showing that, oh, gorillas, lions, you name it, all you can find them here at the Pittsburgh Zoo. I think that one's a pretty cool one. Tostitos. Okay, Tostitos, their logo, all right, shows the T, okay, the 2T, as people eating salsa. I think that's a pretty cool one as well. I think I like that one. It shows like a welcoming environment. You're sharing your items, the Tostitos chips that are really, really good. I think that's pretty cool. Falcons. All right, this is a cool one. I never noticed this one actually. So with the Falcons, the way it's represented, the way it looks, it's the F in Falcons. Never noticed that one. I thought that was pretty neat. It's the Atlanta Falcons with the F. Tour de France. Okay, it is a bike. So you can see the person here. And here's the back tire, here's the front tire. I think that one's neat. Milwaukee Brewers, this is one of my favorite ones. It looks like a glove catching a ball. But we see the M for Milwaukee and then the B for Brewers. Pretty cool. Their other logo is pretty neat too. It shows how with creating beer and the brewers of that area, right? It has like a piece of wheat showing as the M. It's pretty neat. I like it. Yeah, there's different logos. Chick-fil-A, everybody sees the chicken in the C. That one's an easy one. And I think that's, yeah. All right, so please check that out and come up with 3 different ones. Okay, I know I showed you a couple of them. there's different types of hidden meanings and logos, which are pretty cool, which you guys can check out. Pinterest, right? The P. Come up with different logos and think of the logos that you think are pretty unique and the messages hidden in these logos. Maybe it's just something with a sports team or an advertisement, whatever it might be. So check it out. So I'd like you to find 3 of them, 3 unique subliminal messages in advertisement. Okay, that is an everyday advertisement that maybe we haven't noticed. So have that. Please submit your bell ringers to this activity as well. And we'll have that due for Monday, I guess. All right, take care. Have a good one.